report. And by the way, we have people of the state speak on this matter. You will get to see that in this report. Stay with us. We'll come back.
Many residents of Osun State are calling on the state government to address the soaring fees imposed by estate agents, which they say have made securing affordable accommodation increasingly difficult and stressful. This public outcry arises from dissatisfaction with the exorbitant fees demanded by house agents, who are often accused of profiteering. Some residents even suggest that many of the agents are allegedly fraudsters, exploiting vulnerable Nigerians under the guise of real estate dealings, while others accuse agents of inflating rent prices to earn higher commissions, further exacerbating the housing crisis. Mrs. Adelabu Abishola and Mr. Michael Omotosho, residents of Osogbo, explained their deal in the hands of house agents and why they want a quick intervention from the Osun State government.
It's not funny because they are too, let me say, callous. The price they ask is so ridiculous, especially when it comes to total package, caution fee, agency fee, blah, 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 things like that. So they are callous, selfish interests.
The house agent in this Osogbo, seriously, it has been a very, very, very terrible one. I will not lie to you because I could remember 2 years ago, it happened to me personally when I want to get a 2-bedroom apartment in front of Akin's brother, and I met like 3 agents. The first one told me 2-bedroom is 400,000. The total package is 650. I was like, 650 for total package. That's too much now. Just reduce this thing for me. Even if the house is not up to that amount that you call it, then I meet the second agent, which is the intermediary between the real agent itself.
On their part, the Youth Assembly of Nigeria, Osun State Chapter, through their majority leader, Honorable Alexandra Adeyeye, called on Osun State House of Assembly to immediately implement the housing regulation law and the establishment of a regulatory body to monitor and control the activities of house agents, which is getting out of hand. They further disclosed that if by the 17th of this month no meaningful action is taken, they will mobilize and lead a massive protest across all constituencies in the state. The majority leader also stated that the suffering of the people has reached a limit, hence the protests will be indefinite.
The protesting is that the agents, those people calling themselves estate agents in Osun State, majorly in Osogbo, they've been extorting people of charges. They are overcharging people even to the extent that the house owners are even complaining. Instead of them to have a particular amount of, like let's say, a percentage of, if this house rent is 120,000 naira, normally maybe your charges will be 5% or 3%. We should be aware, and we've been laying emphasis on this for like 2 or 3 times. And recently we had the governor and the House of Assembly actually talk about the bill that they are going to do something to stop all these things. But ever since then, they've not actually implemented all they've talked about. So now we wrote another letter. We say to them to help us regularize all these issues that we are having with the agent. But ever since then, we didn't hear anything from them.
Earlier, we spoke to the National President Association of Professional Real Estate Managers, Mr. Babari Misal-Lekon, who disclosed that the body is doing everything possible to wipe out fake agents by enforcing arrests. He said agents are only supposed to get 20% of the amount paid to landlord, as against what is currently practiced. He also called on the Osun State government to quickly implement the bill that will put an end to what he described as a disgrace.
The professional fee for the letting is 10% agreement and then 10% commission. Most of the agents has abused it. When you meet an agent, maybe you need a house of 300,000 naira or house of 200,000 naira. When you ask of the total package for the one of 200,000 naira, the agent may be asking you for 300 or 400, which is overcharging. And everybody knows that the percentage, the professional fees an agent is supposed to charge is 10% agreement and 10% commission, which is the professional fee for the 200,000 rent. The 10% is 20,000 naira. While the other one, which is agreement, is 20,000 naira, which is 240. But you will be see an agent that will be charging you 300,000, which is not good, is not fair. We have been fighting for it, being the president and then the other committees. We have disciplinary committee, which chaired by Mr. Emmanuel. We don't even allow that.
Mr. Lekon also blamed residents for being too desperate when searching for a house, hence falling in the wrong hands.
Very easy for prospective tenants to identify agent. Let's call it agent the way you will understand me. It's very easy. When you meet somebody, at least as you come in now, you can see my office, right? From there, you look up, you see the certificate. You as a prospective tenant, you first requested for my ID card. You request, when you meet an agent, you request for his ID card. Sir, please, I need a 3-bedroom flat. Let me see your ID card. From there, when you enter his office, you look up. If you see certificate, you know that he is belong to one association. You understand? But a situation whereby maybe you are just moving along the road, you see somebody that call him or herself agent. You just speak with him. Please, I need also house. He couldn't take you to his office in order for you to see the necessary thing you're supposed to see in someone's office.
Some of the residents who spoke to disagreed with the president. They say it is not desperation from the people, but the selfish and wicked interests of the house agents that makes it difficult.
No, it's not their desperation. Because assuming you are going to a new town and you need an accommodation, you definitely need a house. So it's not desperation. It's selfish interest. That is what I'll classify it to.
Apart from the financial strain many residents experience, these agents' activities contribute to housing instability. Sometimes families are often forced to vacate homes they can no longer afford due to inflated costs imposed by agents, resulting in increased homelessness and stress. It is left to be seen how soon the Osun State government will intervene and put a lasting solution to this lingering problem that has cost many. Joseph Atewe, Western Spring Television News.
A big thank you to Joseph for that comprehensive report. And that mirrors the thought of the people about these menace of house agents, estate and house agents, actually, and what they have shown the people. You know, I'm being very careful this morning to use the kind of words that people will actually like to use because of their experience on these people, these organizations, these associations. But then we have with us in the studio this morning, Funsho Adeniran. Funsho Adeniran is the Publicity Secretary and the Task Force Chairman for National Association of Professional Real Estate Managers, APREM. Good morning, Mr. Funsho.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us in the studios.
You're welcome, sir.
Very quickly, I'm sure you have seen that report. It's not just about that report. You will have had people complaining bitterly, sharing their very ugly experience in the hands of supposed estate agents, house agents, just because they have, sought their service to say, please help me get an apartment, and they get a very terrible experience on a daily. Now, the categorical question that we ask you is, why are you people making life terrible for your clients?
Actually, I would first like to clarify this.
Please go ahead.
There is actually a big difference between real estate managers, real estate brokers, and real estate agents. This is where people mix things up.
Okay.
You should not consult an estate agent without verification.
How do you mean verification?
Yeah. When you meet an estate agent, the first thing you should verify is their identity. Are they even registered under any brokerage firm? Are they even registered under any association? I'm very sure in my own association of professional real estate managers and brokers, you cannot point any of our members that will misbehave anyhow outside.
Yeah, sure.
If one misbehaves, we have offices where you can report them, where they can be traced and they can be dealt with. As I'm talking to you, I have like 3 issues on ground in my office on my table. One of them actually paid a fine of 10,000. Another yesterday.
For doing what?
For overcharging.
Okay.
Another is going to be facing the disciplinary committee in the next few days. In fact, there is a lady, she's even sick. But somebody from our office went out and misbehaved. So there was a report to the task force. We are actually going to handle that issue officially. So there is big difference between being a manager and being an estate agent. Anybody, you can just meet anybody on the street and they will tell you I'm an agent. And I'm very sorry to say this. The government is not really helping us.
How so?
As the association. Because we are not receiving the support we should be getting from the government. There is a bill in the House of Assembly since last year. The bill has not been approved till now. I was on a Twitter space yesterday. It was actually about the bill. What is actually delaying that bill?
Wasn't the bill?
The bill is the regulation. We want the government because there is a limit at which we can operate. Okay, by the grace of God, tomorrow or probably after this program, I will be visiting the state headquarters of the police, Nigerian police. I'll be submitting a letter to the reception there so that we can see the commissioner. We want their support. We want to submit to the other police stations, then we want to submit to the state governor.
What's in the letter?
The content there is we want them to help us support this movement so that we can stop all these bad agents, bad egg.
Who are they?
They are not even members of the association. They are not even members of the profession. A lot of them don't even understand anything about the profession.
Mr. Funsho, let's get it clear. They are not members of your association.
Exactly.
Does that mean any house agent or estate agent that is not part of your association is a bad egg? Is that what you're saying? Because I learned there are many associations as well.
Okay.
How do we know who is who, which is which in this particular thing? Because many person might say, because I'm not a member of APREM, doesn't make me to be unprofessional. I have my body as well. Now, don't you think the proliferation of these estate agents and the association is a problem as well?
Then, if they are going to be claiming that, let them sit down, let them give their members the strict warning and handle them strictly.
How many associations of these estate agents do we have?
I don't know. For me, I know about APREM, Association of Professional Real Estate Managers.
When did this APREM start?
APREM has started, I think, that's the last 3 years.
So obviously, there will have been associations before APREM.
Now.
But they are not functioning.
How do you mean?
I can say it to them.
How?
To their face.
How do you mean?
I am a victim.
How so?
A lot of them, a victim of paying overcharge. And a lot of these people, bad eggs out there, are claiming to be members of their association out there. What is the disciplinary measure they are giving their members out there if those people are members of their association?
When can we say a client has overpaid or an estate agent has overcharged?
Okay. A client will overpay when you pay more than 10% caution if there is caution on the apartment. When you pay more than 10% property agreement, when you pay more than 10% agency. Now, if there's no caution on a particular apartment, as an estate broker, as an estate agent, you don't have to charge for caution.
Who puts the caution?
The caution belongs to the landlord.
What's this caution about?
It is actually a caution of damages. Let me use it that way.
Okay.
A caution of damages. So the caution belongs to the landlord. If, let me put myself as a broker. I'm a broker, of course. I'm a manager. So when I charge my clients for caution, my caution should go directly to my landlord, not me. It doesn't belong to me.
So what happens?
And it is refundable.
Okay. Is it, you know, in Nigeria, the way things happen, does it really work that way for sure?
That is
Who is
why
to enforce it?
That is why I said the problem in real estate agency today, real estate industry today, I don't want to limit it to agency now, is a reflection of our society.
In what way?
Okay.
Now, the landlord are actually contributing to this issue. Even the lawyers are also contributory factor.
Tell us.
Oh.
Now, I've worked with some lawyers in a situation when a lawyer will even charge more than 10% on a particular apartment being given to him by a landlord to manage. And the lawyer will not actually get a client by himself. The lawyer will call on estate managers. I am having this apartment on my table. I want you to manage it for me. I need clients. So now when you know the caution is 10%, the lawyer's agreement is 10%, and you are charging me for a 300,000 rent apartment. As a lawyer, charging me for agreement of 50,000. So what do you expect? When I am discussing, I'm the one that will be addressing my client, not even you. So the client will see me as the bad person.
What's the part of the lawyer in all of this?
Agreement. Now, let me come in now.
Yes, please.
There are some things that you have a particular lawyer. It is actually compulsory for every estate firm, every estate company, every estate broker to have a lawyer. So when you have a lawyer, what you do is when you charge your agreement, when your client pay for agreement, the agreement is meant to be for the lawyer.
How much is for the agreement? Is there a percentage?
10%.
10% of what?
Of the rent.
Okay.
Not sales. When you are selling, below million is 10%. Million is 5%.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to say
that is the aspect of the lawyer. Now, some engineers will also contribute negatively.
How?
I will tell you now. There are some of our members who brought reports that after these engineers are done with their constructions, they are in charge of the key. They are communicating with the landlord directly who gave them that job. Now they call you as the broker. When you get to them, they tell you you have to pay 2,000 naira before you can open this key.
Are they supposed to be part of the
it is very wrong.
transaction? What's the place of an engineer? You have done your work and deliver to your client.
Exactly, to your manager. Leave him to do his own job. But this thing is, I think it is lack of enlightenment, lack of awareness.
Is it lack of enlightenment, or what you have called it now, or proper regulation?
That is where the government comes.
Because I wonder how an engineer, you have a job to do to construct, you are through with the construction, then give the key to the person that's giving you the job.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, now, where the government is not doing it perfectly well, I am not going to be blaming the government anyway, because if you don't understand how things work, you need to meet with people who will expose you to how it works. The government should not be fighting agents out there, these roadside agents. I think the government should have direct access and a database of the numbers of brokerage firm in a particular state. When you know the number of your brokerage firm, definitely the brokerage firm will also keep a record of their own agents. So when there is a report, get in touch with the brokerage firm. They will definitely fish out the agent. And meanwhile, no brokerage firm will want to tarnish their own image.
Okay.
They will definitely take their agents through proper training and educate them so that they can be professional about dealing with customers.
How do you get agents into your association?
Now, what we do is this. We take them through lectures and training.
How long?
April. 3 months. I have apprenticed under my own brokerage firm that is not even yet practicing. So after the 3-month training, after the 3-month lecture, if you go to my office, you see these lectures, gadgets in my home.
All right. Office. Now, if I need a house, because what are the process? What should I do?
Okay. Now, as a customer,
I need an apartment.
You need an apartment.
For rent, yeah.
Okay. You need an apartment. Mistakenly, you can actually contact any agent. Hello, Mr. So, Mr. Hey, I need an apartment. As long as that agent, the first thing you should do is verify. Are you registered under any brokerage firm? Before I can engage you. The first thing that agent should do is refer you to the admin of his brokerage firm. Then you register under the brokerage firm as a customer, which gives you entitlement to their services anytime. It should be just one time registration anyway. You don't register 2 times. You don't register 3 times under any brokerage firm. So after the registration, you get on to start receiving updates. You don't need to be running around consulting Mr. A, B, C, D, E, F because you want a particular apartment. That is where people start falling into scam. When you inform A, you inform B, you inform C, you inform D. At the end of the day, the same apartment, Mr. A will bring you to the same apartment, Mr. B will bring you to the same apartment, Mr. C will bring you to the same apartment, and they will all want to eat.
Out of it.
Out of it. Now, they start charging you unnecessarily. But these things are actually...
But that's the business of you as agents. The clients will not know about that. And one will say, in reality, the streets, always want to eat in a kind of way. So you have said, anybody can just claim to be an house agent, right?
Exactly.
A house agent. Fair enough. But some will say, even, I don't know if it's your association members or not, but the thing is, as it stands, now, thank God for this program that we're informing the people, and people that will see this program later, we're informing them, educating them on how to go about their business.
Yes.
But that, how on earth should a house that has a 200,000 naira rent, 250,000 naira rent, end up being given a total package of 700,000?
That is criminal.
500,000. You are saying it's criminal. That means all of you people are criminals.
We are
Suspected
not.
criminals.
I said it earlier.
Hold on. I'll give you an opportunity to explain.
Okay.
That is the reality. At the end of the day, you now ask for the rent. They'll tell you, don't worry, the total package is. And so when you want to renew, you now know that my 600,000 that I paid, the rent is 200,000. Or you even see some. By the time maybe the landlord gets to visit the house to come and check, I'm walking past, let me see what is happening in my house. You have a conversation, you now realize that the rent is even way below what you were told.
What you paid, exactly.
100,000 naira, and the person is collecting 300,000 naira from you. You send your money to the agent or the lawyer. At the end of the day, the rent from the landlord is just 150,000 naira. How do you explain that?
Exactly, that's
wicked.
That was what I was saying. And that was why I clarified things in the beginning. There are differences between estate agents and estate managers.
Who are they?
Brokers.
Tell us.
Now, an estate agent cannot stand in for a client on agreement, on contract.
Okay.
An estate agent can only refer you and tell you this is the right person to go. Normally, you shouldn't pay to an estate agent. You pay to an estate broker or an estate manager. The only assignment of an estate agent is to help you hunt, bring you to the property, to the direct source, which is the broker or the manager. So the estate agent cannot stand in and make contract with you. So it is very wrong for any estate agent to ask you for agreement fee. Now, the only person that can request agreement fee from you as a customer, which the agreement fee will be delivered to the lawyer, is only an estate broker. Myself as an estate broker, I don't need to see you before I help you sort an apartment.
How do you mean?
Now, it is my duty, if you are not going to be around, I can stand in for you on a contract basis. As long as I have your facts, I have what you want, you are communicating with me, I am supposed to fight for your interest. So when I am going to be fighting for your interest and I am going to be making contracts on your behalf, why will I pay 320 for an apartment of 200? It is wrong. But most of our people, like I said, they don't verify most estate agents. And I'm very sorry to say it. Most people out there in our environment, in our society, many out there are users.
How do you mean users?
Okay. A lot of them want cheap things. When they get to a particular office, a particular estate manager office, And the person tells you, in my office, these are the processes. They will tell you they can't follow it.
What is the process that tedious?
No. Let me explain it.
Okay.
You register under the firm. After you register under the office or the firm or the manager or the brokerage firm, their assignment is to start searching for you, hunting for you. In fact, you are supposed to go and relax and wait for update from them. After the registration, they are meant to be running up and down, looking for what you requested for. Now, when you are being updated about facts, because any estate manager or estate broker, which I'm very sure you won't find out in our association, because we are actually strict with ourselves. We don't play with ourselves when it comes to discipline. Now, when you are being updated, you must have the full details. Me as an estate broker, if I am going to be signing an agreement for my customer, definitely I should be able to tell my customer and have the fact that there's running water in the apartment, there is electricity, prepaid bill, no debt. The caution is involved, caution is not involved. I should be able to clarify that for you, being the customer, being my own customer.
As a manager.
As a manager, as a broker. So after that, if all these things are not involved, caution is not involved, then the agreement, I signed the contract. My own lawyer will actually testify that we are signing for our customer. Then the agreement goes to my own lawyer. Now, after the verification, when you come, I must be able to present you a valid and clear fact now. You should not regret working with me.
All right. Because we have a lot to really talk about. Because one we say is the way you are saying it, it sounds good.
Yeah,
it looks nice. How come how come things are not this easy? There is another part. I want to go on a quick break right now. There is another part of which somebody leaves a house and immediately is given to another person. The person coming in spite of the rent, in spite of everything, will be the one to now be fixing stuff in the house. From the screening of the wall to the painting to the plumbing to everything, just because you just need an accommodation. And you have said, oh, it's your business to make sure the water is running, to make sure the toilet facilities are good. Which kind of Nigeria are you living in? Or we have a different Nigeria for your group, or you are just saying these, just like I said,
I'm not just saying this.
I understand. We are saying this now, and this will travel far and wide. And people will verify. Some are watching right now. And by the way, we want to tell the people that are watching us right now, you can leave a comment on our YouTube channel, and we'll try and do justice to that, to be part of this conversation. Because I must tell you, people are going through a lot. And I know you know. We'll go on this quick break. We'll be back. Stay with us. So many persons. And some will tell you, if you are moving to a house that the house has been renovated and you're about to come in, then if they are paying 200,000 in that house before, all of a sudden it will turn to 800,000 because you have. Some will even ask you, do you want POP? Do you want, that's supposed to be my business for God's sake? Is it supposed to be so that a client will move into an apartment, he or she will still have to be fixing things in that house that will never be factored into the rent?
Actually, it is not supposed to be so. But I'll ask a question. Is that apartment a new apartment or old apartment? Now, if the apartment...
Does it matter?
It matters.
Okay, tell us.
If the apartment is new, you are not supposed to do anything by yourself inside the apartment. Only if you decide to change your color after the landlord has painted, or probably the landlord leaves it that way, because you have your own taste of and choice of color. Apart from that,
are you supposed? Sorry, you still continue. Does a client have the power or the will to change the color of a particular house if the house has been well painted before? Do you have the right to?
Well painted, you have to inform your manager, your estate manager.
All right, please go ahead.
Now, if the house is new, you don't have any right to do anything. And in fact, if the house is old, the landlord is supposed to renovate everything in the house before you take charge of that house. Or before you
give it to another person.
Exactly, because he charged caution. The only excuse he can give to the manager or to anybody or to you as the tenant is if he's not charging caution on that apartment. If you are being charged caution, then it is his right as a landlord to renovate everything on the apartment. This is where people need to be enlightened.
Right.
I am a victim of all this issue.
You can be.
Of course I am.
As a broker yourself.
Of course, people can be so dubious. Even the landlords. That is why I said we are all contributory factor to all these things. The government has their own role to play. The landlord has their own role to play. The estate managers had their own role to play. Now, as the landlord, you promised me you are going to fix my running water when I am trying to come into your apartment. It is time for you to fix this thing. You did not. I told you my painter is coming to paint tomorrow. You said the painter should continue to work. This is a reality, a fact, documented fact at the Ministry of Justice. It happened to me. So after a few months, I moved in. You did not fulfill your promises. Now, do you know what I did? I did not sign the agreement that was given to me. So I did not return it. Because that is the only thing that will hold me responsible to answer any query you are giving to me as the landlord. And I will not sign it if you don't fulfill your own obligation on that apartment. Now, what are the rights of the tenants?
Yes.
Which most people don't even know.
Yes, let's talk about it.
You have the right to reclaim and refund all your dine if your landlord fails to fulfill his or her obligation, even after you pack them. That is if you had proper agreement.
Who is to make sure that happens? Because we see this every day.
The estate managers. Because normally, you should not be talking to your landlord if the apartment has been issued out to a particular estate manager to oversee.
So the business of a resident of a house is, and if you have complaint or something to say, should be with the person who gave you the house, the manager, right?
Exactly. The manager
but it's because sometimes some managers or whatever you call them are irresponsible.
Because
you call them, they will not pick up, they will not do anything. So the resident will be looking for the landlord. Let me cuckoo talk to this man.
Because those set of people are the bad egg we are seeing out there. They are just agents, they are not managers. Please, we need to clarify this, please.
But you have agents working with you as well.
Of course, I have agents working with me, and none of my agents will do that shit out.
No, sorry. The use of word. We don't use such word. Yeah. Now, you have agents working with, I'm talking about the real professionals. I'm not talking about your private business now.
Okay.
The professionals are supposed to have agents, if I hear you well, who will hunt for properties, right?
Exactly.
And clients, and then direct it to the brokerage, right?
Exactly.
To continue the work from there.
Exactly.
That is where the work of an agent ends.
In fact, to be honest with you, sir, what most people don't understand, why I said you don't pay to an agent. You pay to the brokerage company. You pay to the manager.
With an official company account, right?
God bless you, sir. Documented.
How widely known is this APRM? Now, let's say where we are currently now. We don't really know, most persons don't even know this estate firm. What they know is maybe you see a signboard outside, house to let, call so number. And they call the number, and the person says, claims he's an agent. And the person says, pay me. So how
did you verify?
How well are you people working towards making APRM more like a household name here first?
Now, I will start like this. You cannot be smarter or knowledgeable more than what you know. You will only be knowledgeable, limited to what you understand and what you know. Now, if we are not known, I will not be here today. So that is a result of our efforts on educating and sanitizing Osun State generally. Let me say the society generally. Now, me as the task force, I was actually I was just appointed officially.
As a task force chairman of your association.
Of our association.
So what's your work? What's your responsibility?
Now, my responsibility is to sanitize, make sure none of our members is being affected or doing any unprofessional acts out there. Educating the society like I am doing. Make the society understand what is really happening.
All right. Because of the want of time, we are closing home now in the next few minutes. You mentioned something. I'd like you to go ahead with it. The right of a tenant and the right of a landlord.
Okay. Yes, the right of a tenant. I'm not a lawyer, but due to
your profession angle, yeah,
I will be limited and I will explain some. Now, as a tenant, I don't have the right to damage your property as my landlord. Because I paid for a space in your house, it is not my right to spoil anything. Now, as the landlord, do you know it is very wrong for any landlord to come and lock your door as the tenant? Now, there is this, I want to bring this in, sir. There is this issue of house agents, quacks. These people are bad eggs. Praying that when I give you house, they will be praying that next year you won't be able to pay so that they can evict you.
Nigerians will say Holy Ghost fire to that.
Do you know it is very wrong? For a professional will never pray and wish for that. Because I am entitled to a particular commission when you renew from my own landlord. Because before I even got that apartment from my landlord, I signed, we call that the power of Anthony, with my landlord, which makes me the mandate and gives me the right to manage that property. Now, I can't lock your door. There are processes I should follow. And to the general public, I want to emphasize on this. Do you know the police had no issue with tenant and landlord case if it is not criminal? This is just
pure... How do you mean?
Now, come. This is just a pure civil case. Before the police can come into that type of matter, there must be a criminal activity involved. So, as the landlord, I can't just go to the police station and bring police. Start packing these tenant loads and pack it outside. I lock my door. It is my property now. If I boot it with my own money.
Let me give you an example. Talking about that, because one will say we can blame estate agents, valuers, everybody in this ecosystem for what we are saying about getting a house. How about people that are in a house? Because we need to be holistic about this conversation, that there are terrible tenants as well.
Yes.
There are some tenants who are
terrible.
difficult. Yeah. And they are not paying. They are not moving out.
Exactly. Now, what you do is this. When you are...
And it's intentional. They are just showing you that you can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll be clarifying some points.
Yes, please.
Do you know there is nothing like 6 months after your rent is due?
How do you mean?
There is nothing like 6 months grace.
So why do people say that? Because I've seen lawyers say that.
I am saying it publicly, openly now. There is nothing like 6 months grace after your rent is due. Now, you can only receive a notification 6 months to your expiry date.
From who?
From your estate manager. They will send you a note. That is, we call it I think that's, I forgot the exact.
Is it a quit notice thing?
Not really quit notice.
All right.
Quit notice is just 7 days. Quit notice doesn't exceed 7 days. After 7 days, you receive a court order.
Please make that point. The 6 month thing that you are talking about
now,
before.
After 6 months, it is my duty to serve you, to remind you. The letter will serve as reminder that in the next 6 months, you are meant to pay your rent. After 3 months, I should
6 months before the expiration of the running rent.
Of the original rent.
Okay.
6 months before. After 3 months, it is my duty and assignment to issue you another letter to remind you as the tenant. that you are having just 3 months left. Why? Because on the exact day when your rent expires, you are just a tenant by wish.
Not legal again.
You are not even entitled to that apartment. So you are only inside that place, inside that apartment, because the landlord is kind.
How about not just the reminder that you have a rent to pay, but the reminder that please leave this property. I don't want you there again, or I have to take possession. How does that work?
You can't issue such letter. That is quit notice. You can't issue that in 6 months.
Okay.
After a tenant moved into the house. You can only issue quit notice when the rent is expired, or when the tenant breaks the agreement you had with them.
So
and you said the quit notice is 7 days.
If the tenant has not broken any agreement, the tenant is paying as and when due, but the owner of the property says,
I don't want you
I need my house for other use. What grace does that person have? He's not owing. He has been a very patriotic and very responsible tenant.
Okay.
And you are saying you can only give him 7 months to move.
7
to
days.
Where? 7 days. Rather.
How?
How does that work?
If the tenant...
For a law-abiding tenant.
Now, for a law and abiding tenant, if the landlord is trying to evict everybody or evict you, he's going to issue you 3 months before that letter, before that date, which he expects you to leave that place. And he's going to refund your money, your left, the remaining months. The landlord is going to refund it to you.
Oh, no, what he's trying to say is, in a case where you've paid your rent, and your rent is about expiring, and the landlord says, I don't want you anymore. When the rent expires, leave my house. How much time is that person supposed to have? How much time is
that will reflect in the 3 months now. First reminder, 6 months. The second reminder is 3 months. Then I should be able to tell you that in the next 3 months, I don't want a renewal. You have to leave my house.
So the person should be notified.
Because I want to renovate my house.
The person should be notified at least 3 months.
Exactly. If you are not breaking any rules and your rent is not expiring.
All right. In that case, who brings that notice? The landlord or the estate?
Not the landlord. The estate
broker?
Managers or the broker.
All right.
In fact, it should not be the broker now. It should be the manager, because there are still differences between the manager and the broker.
What's the broker?
Now, the broker can the broker can sometimes in some situation be the manager. The manager sometimes can also be a broker. Now, if I am a broker, definitely I don't have access, I don't have mandate on your property. You as the manager has the right to monitor and decide what happens on that property. Me as the broker, I can only sign a contract and have fact on behalf of my client with you.
Fair enough. Let's take it home from here.
Yes.
If we find any agent, either is Baba CD beside the front of the house, or professional like yourself that has overcharged, that has taken law into his hands to exploit, a particular tenant to do whatever the landlord has not told him to do. What should the people do? Because I must tell you this. As the mirror of society, I usually say it, we hear things, we know things. That's why we brought you here to speak on this matter. We just don't want to act on rumor, clarify from a professional point of view. I mean, professional point of view. People are angry with you people.
Not us.
Hold on. Now, it will take you some moment of luck for you to explain yourself and say, oh, I'm APMED or Abi? APREM, your association, I'm not. People that do this business, majority of Nigerians are unhappy with the way they have turned themselves to a principality and power on their own. If we find any of them doing this particular thing, what should the people do?
Now, by the grace of God...
1 minute, we have to go.
By the grace of God, today I am submitting personally an official letter to the state headquarters. And I'm submitting to other police stations.
Okay, so...
I'm going to submit to the Ministry of Justice too, and to the Rent Tribunal. We're going to see them. There is this issue. If you have any if you have any issue like that,
Yes.
and any April member is connected with that transaction, call me or call any member of the task force. We will release their.
Do you have an office?
Yeah, of course.
Where?
Yeah, at Bovas.
Bovas where?
Yeah, Agumbelewo.
Okay, in Oshogbo.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Because
where our secretariat working
it's all
report.
right. And it's not just about APMED. Anybody doing this particular thing, because Nigerians are going through a lot.
Yeah.
And we don't need any other person or association to add to the burden that people already have. You have somebody paying a two-bedroom apartment for, let's say, 200,000, 300,000. At the end of the day, you say the total package is around 600,000. What is the package? Who is packaging what in all of this? But we want to thank you for your time and your take, for sharing your thoughts with us professionally on this matter. We have been speaking with Funsho Adeniro. He is the Publicity Secretary and Task Force Chairman for the National Association of Professional Real Estate Managers. And he has said, if you see or find any of his members in very unscrupulous practices, find a way of reaching out to them. They will do what they have to do. And by the way, he's not just here alone. He's here with the General Secretary and some members of the executive of that particular association. Thank you for your time and your
Thank you,
team.
sir.
All right. And we hope the next time we have your association here, we'll be talking purely about other things, not this extortion that you people. You have said you are not part of them, but it's okay.
By the grace of God.
But it's good to know.
And we are employing and we are begging the government and the law enforcement.
Go through the
They
channels.
should welcome us when we get to their office.
You will have to go to the channels, or you pay for advert right now. So that's it. We have to.
Yeah, we have to go. We'll see you tomorrow. I remain Uzom Sekechukwu. Stay safe.
Yeah.
All right, Femi Ojo is my name. We make a return tomorrow morning for another fresh edition of Morning Spring. By the way, you can have the recap of this particular very informative program and other informative and educative program on this channel. It's about the public good on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. That's our page on YouTube, Western Spring TV. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Western Spring Television. You have a potpourri of educative program there. Femi Ojo is my name. God bless Nigeria. Be good and please stay alive.